This is Makeup Mermaid 22 with another video, and this video is going to be the pros and cons of being a mermaid. So I'm going to be doing this video as a collaboration with Faith on the Base, so if you haven't seen her channel, you should totally check her out because she is also a fellow YouTuber mermaid. So to start off with the pros, number one, it can make you and others happy. Mermaiding is very enjoyable for both you and then performing or just being around others. Kids love when I swim around and sing for them, so that's just a great feeling. And it can really make their day and just have a happy memory at that body of water, wherever it is. A cute story is one little kid asked me if they're transgender mermaids, and I said yes. So having representation for them, or maybe someone they know or love, that's really important. So moving on, so singing. Not all mermaids sing, but a lot of us are sirens and we love to indulge in singing. For me, any opportunity to sing, it makes me happy and it makes others happy. Another pro is you can do parties if you want. This can help make back some of the money spent on all of the materials and can be really rewarding for yourself seeing it all pay off. Another pro is mermaiding is a great way to work out. It's a very fun workout, and especially with heavier tails, but even with the smaller tails, you'll find yourself in the water for hours, and this is both good for the whole body, just being in the water, but also it's really good for the abs and the legs. I find I get great workouts in, and it's just a great way to be working out without really feeling like you're working out. It's just a lot of fun. Another pro is if you're a crafty mermaid, you can help save some money by making your own stuff, and then you can also sell some of the things that you make. And it's very rewarding to be able to wear the mermaid accessories and tails that you make. Just in general, you get to be a mythical creature and kind of take that role, and it's just a lot of fun. So some of the cons to mermaiding, there are a few cons. One I'll start off with is to yourself. There's damaged hair, especially if you dye your hair, it fades really quickly, and that's always a timing thing. I try and mermaid more when my hair is starting to fade a little, or I try and do it when I don't have any big events I want really bright hair for. The chlorine or salt water can be kind of damaging to the hair, but especially if you're in freshwater, these damages aren't as bad. There's also chipped nails. My nail polish always gets chipped while in the water. It's just something you have to deal with, so you can either not wear nail polish or just be prepared to redo it afterwards. The cuticles also get really damaged from being in the water all the time, and your eyes can get irritated. I've had only like one bad experience with really irritated eyes. I've kind of trained myself just to be more used to the water, more used to chlorine and salt water. This has actually come in handy for scuba diving training and things like that, just to be very comfortable with my eyes open in the water. But it is something to consider. I've had one bad experience where the pool was really over chlorinated and I kept swimming in it, and by the end of the night my eyes were burning and it didn't go away until the next morning. It's just extremely painful, so you do have to be careful with that. But it isn't too bad. You can open your eyes underwater and get used to it. Another con is when kids don't believe and they ruin it for others. So some kids, they like to think they're all smart and say like, oh, like you're not actually a real mermaid, or they just like to prove you wrong, so they'll try and prove you and prove it to the other kids that you're not a real mermaid. Like mermaiding, you don't have to pretend you're real, you can just be happy swimming around in a costume, but I like to pretend I'm real for at least the younger kids, and when there's one who's trying to ruin it for everyone else, it's kind of sad. Yeah, this one kid, I was swimming like the whole day and he kept coming up to me and he almost started crying because he was like so sure that he was right, and he was so angry that I wouldn't tell him that I wasn't a real mermaid. So that was just kind of not the most fun experience to have to deal with. And some kids latch on to you. Sometimes it's nice to have kids latch on to you, but other times it's not so nice. There's one kid that kept swimming out and wanted me to keep saving him because he started out kind of far out and I had saved him once, so he kept swimming out again, and we had to have a talk with him so he wouldn't accidentally drown or anything like that. And then the other kids just latch on, and you want to be able to swim. Sometimes you don't want to put on a performance, sometimes you just want to swim in your mermaid tail and be free. It's easier to do that when it's not as crowded a place, but when there are a lot of people around, it's kind of hard to escape all of them, and some of them really want a performance or they won't really leave you alone. Another thing is over time, your tails and tops and other things that you make can be damaged, and this is kind of sad, and it's kind of hard if you spend all this money or time working on them. So especially with chlorinated water and some salt water, it can damage these. So I recommend swimming in open water and fresh water if possible. Yeah, so that's about it for the pros and cons of being a mermaid. I'll hand you guys over to Faith, and she'll tell you a little bit about her pros and cons of being a mermaid.
Hello, I'm Nerdmaid Faith, also known as Faith on the Base. I'm going to be doing this collab with Sarah on pros and cons of being a mermaid. Pros of being a mermaid are: mermaiding has brought me a ton of confidence. I love talking to people about what I'm passionate about. Mermaiding is a great conversation starter. I talk to so many people at the pool that I normally don't ever get to chat with. Mermaiding is a great hobby, and it's something that I can truly be very passionate about. The cons of being a mermaid: anytime there's anything slightly mermaid related that goes viral, everyone will tag you. Another problem about being a mermaid is the foot cramps. They hurt so much, but it's worth it. And a con of being a mermaid, especially when you're our age, is that people, like my coworkers, sometimes judge you. Wow, this was really fun to be in. Thank you, Sarah, for letting me be in your video, Pros and Cons of Being a Mermaid. You can check out the video we did on my channel, Faith on the Base, on do's and don'ts of buying mermaid tails. Please subscribe to me. Thank you for watching!